The following interview is being conducted as part of the Price of Freedom Oral History Series, sponsored by the Madison County Military Heritage Commission to inform the public of the sacrifices made by veterans in our community on battlefields around the world. We wish to thank the Huntsville School System and the ETV Broadcast Center for their help in presenting this military heritage program. Hello everyone, I'm Tom Kennemer. Welcome to our program, and today we'll be talking with U.S. Army veteran Ronald Wright. Ronald received the Distinguished Service Cross for extraordinary heroism while serving as an Army medic in the Republic of Vietnam in 1967. Ronald is also the recipient of the Purple Heart for wounds he received during combat. He was inducted into the Madison County Military Heritage Hall of Heroes in 2023. And Ronald, thank you so much, sir, for being with us today. Appreciate your time.
It's an honor to be here with you, Tom.
Good to see you. Yes, sir. Now, tell us a little about yourself. I believe you grew up in Georgia, right?
Yes, I was born in a town called Macon, Georgia.
Macon, okay.
Yes.
Now, what part? Is that the southern part? Or
Central, more or less
central
central Georgia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And did you have family in the military when you grew up?
I had uncles and cousins who had served. I was always looking up to them and proud of what they were doing for our country. Yes.
Yeah. Now you were drafted, but what were your thoughts about going into the military?
Well, at that time, Vietnam was looming over everybody, so
right.
I was crossing my fingers and hoping that the draft wouldn't come, and
right.
if it did,
yeah.
certainly don't let me have to go to Vietnam for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it was kind of big news back then, and
yes.
It was just like we drafted like in '66. You know, was that?
Yes,
yeah,
that was
that time frame.
March of '66.
Yeah. Now, where did you go to boot camp, by the way?
Fort Benning. I
Fort
think
Benning.
It's been changed since that time, but
yes,
Fort Benning, Georgia.
Yeah. Now, you became a medic. Did you apply to become a medic, or did they just say, hey, Ronald Wright, you're going to be a medic? How did that work out?
That's pretty much.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was a roll of the dice because I was expecting to be in artillery or infantry or something like that. Yeah. So they do testing to the inductees. Yeah. We don't have a choice really where we are assigned. Yeah. So I guess I must have tested good on something. Yeah. Because they said, you're going to be a medic, a combat medic. Yeah.
You didn't have any prior training to that, to become a medic, or worked in a doctor's office or anything like that, right?
None at all. In fact, just doing first aid was a challenge to me. So I couldn't imagine myself, after the description of the duties and responsibilities, treating wounded people, getting shot and hurt. Yeah. I couldn't imagine myself doing that, especially under enemy fire.
Yeah. Well, tell us about your training. Now, you had to go through boot camp, and then you went through medical training, right?
Yes. Well, basic training was just nominal for that, and then there's advanced combat medical training.
How long was that? How long did that take?
I think it was about 6 months or so.
Yeah. And was that at Fort Benning?
It was at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah. Was that pretty tough? I mean,
It was quite extensive.
Yeah.
You learn how to do almost everything because on the battlefield, you are the one that's supposed to administer things, injections, immunizations, treat minor and major wounds, and also take care of serious injuries that quite often lead to death, something, dismemberment or something like that.
So he had to learn it good and had to pay attention because they're going to rely on you to possibly save someone's life.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, Ronald, did you go straight to Vietnam? Or I assume that they gave you leave to go home to Macon. Did you go straight to Vietnam?
Well, actually, when we were in medical training, the airborne recruiters came through. And somehow I got inspired to want to join the paratroopers. So that was a one-way ticket to Vietnam.
Right.
So after that, we went to airborne training, jump school, parachuting, combat jumps, and night jumping, and equipment jumps, things of that nature. Then after that, Vietnam, here we come.
So you were a medic that had to jump out of planes some too, right?
That was part of the duties.
I almost wondered exactly, Ronald, how is it determined you go to the 101st or the 82nd? How is that determined?
That's probably done at random based on where personnel are needed.
Yeah.
During that time, we had 101st, which eventually they cleared Fort Campbell. The whole division was there. And then we had the 173rd, 1st Cav. A lot of these were also on airborne status.
I see. Okay, yeah. Now, what were your thoughts when you first got to Vietnam? I mean, you're now in a war zone.
Right.
What went through your mind?
A lot. And the first thought is, will I make it out of here alive? Because it was just that volatile, a lot of chaos, a lot of the war zone was wherever you are. There was no, you move forward to fight. It was all around. So you're in the war zone, so there's danger all around. And so the idea of, are you going to survive?
Right.
And we were told during orientation, half of you won't make it out of here. And that wound up being true without being either killed or wounded.
Now, you landed in Saigon, I assume, and then went to your outfit later, or how did that work out?
Yes, I recall there were so many places. 101st was kind of mobile, so we moved around to places like Tui Wa, Phan Rang, Doc To, Doc Pho, DMZ. So we were more or less mobile, where we moved around a lot of places.
Yeah. Now tell us about, I know you didn't have too much, I mean, you're in a war zone, I mean, a war going on. Tell us about any downtime that you had, time to relax. What were you able to do? I mean, by the way, did you sleep in a tent, sleep on the ground? How did that, tell us about your facilities.
Right, we were moving, marching in patrol mode. So wherever we could set up what they call a perimeter, a safe perimeter, where we would just kind of set up security and just wait out the night. Then day comes, we're on the move again. Downtime was quite infrequent. Maybe after several months or so, you get to go back for a few days back to a base camp, a support camp area where there were tents, and you have time to do just relax and.
What we call R&R in your service, yeah.
Well, actually,
rest and relaxation.
Rest for
like that,
a few days of just resting, and maybe getting some medical treatment for everybody, getting everybody updated and ready to go back out again.
Yeah. That only lasts like 2 or 3 days, I guess, right? But you get away from it. That helps, you know, kind of.
And they had villages nearby. They had places called the strips where you could go and kind of have guys' recreation.
Yeah, right, yeah. And it's always good to receive a letter from back home, I bet.
Yes, that was a treat. In fact, I remember being just envious of some of the guys when they would have mail call, which only occurred when we were back where it was safe to do so. And that time I was single. I didn't have my dear wife Aquila with me at that time. But she said she was praying for me. She said she prayed for all the soldiers, so I was in that group. But I had my mother who was praying for me, and I felt her prayers. And she would send, whenever it could get to us, some care packages of things guys would kind of share with each other. But I remember, for some reason, I already had a New Testament, which I carried, but I remember asking her, they had these small whole Bibles where you had the Old and New Testament. For some reason, I remember asking for that. So when she sent that to me, that became one of my go-tos whenever I had some downtime. I felt a need for praying. I didn't pray much before then, but I learned how to pray there.
In the war zone, you learned how to pray. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, was it ever a time that you could go back to any type of place that you could call back home? Didn't have that?
None of that. None of that. The closest connection was the letters that would catch up with you 2 or 3 months or however long it took.
Now, Ronald, you said you were moving around a lot, and this was in 1967.
Yes,
I want you to
66,
describe
67.
the action, the situation, in which you would later receive the Distinguished Service Cross, the battle or the combat that you were involved with. Talk about that for us.
Yes. All I can recall about that is that, as I say, there was constant danger. We were pretty much in the war itself. We weren't going to war, we were in it. And so there were always encounters. And I remember this day we encountered a group that had North Vietnamese, and they had kind of surrounded us, and we were caught in a ravine, and we just came under fire, and for some reason we were not ready, and they just began firing on us and wounding fellow soldiers left and right. It was just a day that just all havoc broke loose.
Yeah, it broke loose, yeah.
Yes.
Describe the scene. Was it kind of like a level field, out in an open field, or how?
We were unfortunate to be in a ravine. We were down, they were up. And it was like you go into you walk into it, and they just allow you to get in, then they just start throwing grenades, shooting at you, doing everything they could. So people getting hit all around. It was just, how did we get caught like this? And there was no way out. It was just chaotic the whole time.
Yeah. And you heard screams or yelling of guys that were wounded, and you had to go to them, right? I mean,
yes, that was.
You're a medic,
right? It was happening all around, and it's almost like, well, who else is getting hurt? Who's hurt worse? And just trying to care for those who were wounded.
Yeah. Did you have to crawl like on your stomach and help pull them back? Or you had to. Was it that kind of situation?
Yes,
pull them back to a safer place that you could give them medical attention.
Yeah, in basic training, they teach you how to low crawl and try to stay below detection height. But sooner or later, especially when you're already down and they can see from the higher area, it was just hard to escape detection. And of course, yes, if someone's hurt, you can't just ignore cries for help. And so it was just, I think someone said, weren't you afraid? Certainly.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about that, because you're gonna either live or die. And so the idea is to just serve and do the best you can and trust God as to whether you're gonna make it.
You were pulling these guys to safety, giving them medical attention for, I guess, how long was it for you yourself were wounded? Was it several, pretty good while? Because you had already helped save the lives of several people.
Yeah, all of this is, the time seemed to have stood still, and it's hard to estimate the time. It seemed like it took forever. I don't know, it was like in the afternoon when we came under fire, and it lasted to sundown. It was just, there was just no way to get out of it. So it's just trying to help those and trying to keep from getting hit yourself.
Yeah.
Until.
Do you recall, Ronald, how many people you actually pulled out, let's say before you were wounded, and after you kept moving after you were wounded, pulling these guys out?
I certainly don't. I was not keeping count. I was just trying to.
You didn't have time to count, did you?
Trying to help as many as I could.
Yeah. And so this had been going on for a while, and then you yourself were wounded, and I think you were wounded. You were shot in the jaw.
Right here, right.
And you kept going. Were you bleeding a lot, or how was it? Tell us about that when you were wounded. What thoughts going through your head?
Yeah, I really didn't realize how serious I was wounded. It was just like I felt like I had been, Muhammad Ali had connected one on me.
Like a hot iron or something.
Yeah. Well, I didn't feel that. I just got knocked to the ground.
Oh, I see.
Unconscious. And so when I came up, I was still trying to do what I could, not realizing the seriousness of my injury at the time.
Right, yeah. Now you were. Let's see that like you mentioned earlier, you lose track of time. Now, when they had to evacuate you, where did you go? Did you go back to Saigon, or where did you go to give you medical attention?
Right. Yes. I remember before the day ended, the only thing that saved us was darkness, and we were able to try to crawl to some kind of safety and try to just fight the enemy off. Mm-hmm. But what they finally had to do, they had to call in artillery and airstrike on us. Mm. They had to X mark the spot.
Right.
We couldn't get them off of us, so they just started dropping bombs where we were.
Yeah.
So fortunately, there were not many of us that got wounded from that, but that was the only way they could even get them back off of us.
Yeah.
And it was a long night. Some died even during the night.
Y'all lost quite a few guys, I understand.
Yes. But you can imagine how it felt when those medevac choppers came in. Mm. It was like rescue from the sky.
Good Lord is up there working, isn't he?
Thanking God. Those guys on those choppers looked like angels.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I think they sent you to Japan. You were hospitalized in Japan for a while. Right?
I went to a field hospital in Vietnam, don't remember where. Uh-huh. So I was there for several weeks. From there to actually somewhere like Yokohama, Japan, a military hospital there for a few months. Mm-hmm. And then I think eventually I wound up at Fort Gordon Medical Hospital there.
You're hospitalized. I think you went 4 or 5 months. Is that
longer than that?
Really?
It took that long to recover because of the seriousness of my injuries here.
Did it knock out teeth there? And I think you mentioned it pierced your tongue. Is that right? Was it a bullet or a fragment or something?
It was something. I believe it was similar to M50 machine gun, and it kind of went through this area here, and there was a piercing of my tongue, and a tooth got knocked out here, creating a dimple, which I have, my son, when he was born, Ron Jr., he has a dimple just on one side of his face.
Wow.
But as far as I can tell, I must have cried out, and in doing that, that might have lessened some of the pressure, knocked fragmented bones and teeth all over, but somehow it looked like just a tooth got knocked out here, and all I can imagine is that it went forward from there.
How many surgeries? Do you remember or recall how many surgeries you had to have? Or?
There was several.
Several. Yeah.
Did some reconstruction, and there's still shrapnel and things that are left still in the wound.
Do you have any problems with it today, Ronald? You know, like you wake up some morning, you know, there's just something don't feel right there. It's,
that
hurts or bothers you any?
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Movement of the jaw sometimes. It gets it doesn't function as well. Yeah.
Main thing, you're still alive, though.
Yes, that's what I'm thankful and praising God for.
Yeah. Now, Ronald, I ask all of our veterans that we've interviewed through the years, is it okay to be afraid or scared during combat? I want you to talk about that. Answer that for us. I mean, is it okay? You know, you're in combat. You know, you could be killed, wounded.
Definitely, fear is a part of life, and if you don't fear fire, you could get burned. So you have to fear the dangers that you're facing, but more important is to fear God. And therefore, when you look at that fear that's facing you, you look up and show your reverence, fear, and trust in God. You get to the point where if I make it, I'll make it. But if I don't, I know I'm in God's hands. And so that's what kind of moves you along. You say, okay, God, let's do it. And if you die, you die. But if you live to praise God another day.
Yes. Some of the guys that I've talked to through the years will talk about, gosh, he said, I don't know. I guess I was scared, but you know, I didn't have time to think about it, you know, or that sort of thing. I mean, it just happened so fast.
You don't get paralyzed by it.
Right.
You live with it, and you have courage and faith in God. Fear Him and not the circumstances that you are facing.
Ronald, what do you think when people hear about and read about what you did in combat, saving people's lives? And it was your job, but you did extraordinary heroism for that. But when they call you a hero, how does that make you feel?
That is humbling because a hero, I contest I'm not. And for years, I just I ducked and dodged that description because deep down in my heart, I know I'm not that. But then as I reflected on it, this is a time to give God some glory, to praise the Lord who actually protected and delivered me. So I said, well, they may want to call me a hero, but this will give me a chance to give glory to the hero. So Jesus is my hero. He suffered more than I have, and he shed his blood, so I shed a little. I'm still alive. And so the hero, I think, it just gives you a chance to give honor to God, to show what real heroism is having faith and courage to trust God to see you through and bring you through whatever challenges you may face. Yes.
Talk about the veterans that I've talked with. I recall a veteran years ago I was talking to. He said, I received the medal. Good Lord, I received the medal. He's the one that got me through it, you know?
Yes.
So I think you kind of feel the way he did, yeah.
Yes.
Now, what were your thoughts when you learned that you'd be I guess you were in the hospital at that time, that you would be receiving the second highest award for bravery during combat? What was your thoughts when you heard about that?
Actually, I had no knowledge of it.
Really? Okay.
In fact, the award came after I had been discharged.
Oh, I see.
So I had no knowledge of it. There were people talking about it, but all I could think about during that time, since I was still healing, was just healing and getting well to do what it needed to be done next.
Well, they went back and obviously reviewed what you did on the battlefield, and that was the reason I would assume that you did receive this, because of the heroism that you displayed on the battlefield. Do you often wonder, Ronald, would you do it all over again? Those thoughts ever went through your mind?
Yes, and certainly.
Yeah.
Because I believe God maps out your life. He directs. And I was praying to get out of there alive. God blessed that to happen. And I even prayed that I wouldn't get wounded.
Yeah.
But it happened. Yeah. So God knows how to answer essentials in your prayers. So the wounds come with life. So yes, I think I would just do whatever God led me to do once again.
Yeah.
Yes.
During the Vietnam era, there were protests against the war, as you recall, and of course I remember that as well. Did you ever encounter any of that? And if so, how did you feel about it?
Yes, I remember I was in Vietnam and I was saw something in the news about Dr. Martin Luther King and others who felt that the war was unjust, and he could have been right about the morality of it, about how we got into it and why. But when it gets to the point of defending your country and serving as you're assigned, you put those things aside and just do your duty. There's time for protesting, but not on the battlefield. So I just did my duty, and of course you can always reflect. Vietnam veterans have not been the most honored, but we serve our country. We don't serve causes, we serve our country, and we are patriotic for the freedom that our flag stands for.
Right, yeah. Good comment, and I think a lot of veterans feel the same way, especially those of us that served in the Vietnam era and the Vietnam War.
Yes.
Do you still stay in contact with a lot of the people that you served with? That you remember some of the guys? You still see them or talk to them?
That lasted for a few years. We were in touch, but over the years, we kind of lose contact, and a lot of my comrades have passed on.
Yeah.
after all these years. So actually, I'm not in touch with most of them. I would really like to see who is still around.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Possibly some of the guys that you helped save their lives and that
who
sort of thing.
knows? Yeah.
Maybe they're still out there.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Ronald, now you mentioned it about your thoughts about God and serving your country and on the battlefield. You became a minister following your time in service. Talk about what led you to that decision.
Well, I think that God in His providence was leading when they tested me and assigned me to be a combat medic, helping people in trouble, going through conflicts. So as I looked at, I didn't see a future in medicine, continuing to serve in the medical field. And the ministry came natural, helping people in the most serious ways. So when I went to college here at Oakwood University, right here in Huntsville, Alabama, that's what God led me to major in, religion and theology.
Did you have any thoughts before you went into service, like when you're in high school or working, before you were drafted, becoming a minister?
Not at all.
Not at all. No
In
thoughts.
fact, as I said, I wasn't praying. I wasn't much in prayer during that time. To me, life was about having fun, wine, women, and song. So just go for it.
Yeah, you're a young man. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do before you went into the service? When they were drafted, what were you doing at that time?
I had several jobs. I worked at a grocery store and a box factory, in construction, some of those kind of jobs.
Yeah.
Just getting a paycheck and having a car so
Living
I could
your life. Yeah.
pick up some girls and go have fun.
Now, I want to remind you, Ron, your wife is in the studio.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
that was
yes,
before, dear. That was before.
Yes, sir. Now, I want you to tell us about your family. You and your wife, Aquila, have 2 children. And let's see if I'm right here. 17 grandchildren.
Yes, now that's not correct.
Oh, okay. So I've already got something.
Yeah, I heard that 17 at the banquet. I didn't get a chance to correct it, but it's 7.
7, okay,
Just
okay.
7, not 17.
Not 17.
Not that productive.
Not yet, right? And 4 great-grandchildren, is that correct?
Yes, 4 great-grands.
Yeah. Well, tell us about your family. How did you meet Aquila? Did she grow up there in Macon as well?
In fact, as I said, when I was inspired to come here to Oakwood University, it was a beautiful campus, and it was everything I was told. But then I saw the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. That was Aquila. And I said, this is the place. And I said, and if they got girls like that, I want to be here for sure.
Aquila, is she from the Macon area? Or
No, she came from Oklahoma, a place called Ardmore, Oklahoma.
A Sooner?
Yes, Okie from Muskogee or whatever they call. But we met providentially, and we kind of prayed each other through, and we left here serving God.
How long have you been married now?
We have been married since 69, 50 what, dear? I think at least 55 or 56 years, yes.
Well, that's outstanding. Now, tell us about what brought you and Aquila to you retired as a minister, but you came to Huntsville now. You have a son, I believe, works for the Huntsville Police Department. Tell us about what led you to Huntsville.
Our son, who is works for Huntsville Police, and had the description of his duties, but he is a safety manager for police and fire and safety, and also our daughter, who is a family therapist, Melanie. She does counseling with Touch of Peace counseling service here. And so we came here to be near them and to help them with their children. And so we're in Grandma and Grandpa heaven, as it were.
Yeah. Got the grandchildren closer to you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
Now, you retired, of course, from the ministry.
Yes.
Do you still do some work, in the
Yes.
ministry?
Yes, you can retire from employment, but you can't retire from service as a Christian. as you well know, we all serve.
Right.
We serve our country and we serve God.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been volunteering and serving in Triana, at the Triana Seventh-day Adventist Church. So we just serve and try to help in the community there.
Yeah. And you and Aquila go back, excuse me, on the Oakwood campus occasionally.
Oh, yes.
And revive old memories, maybe?
Oakwood is quite near and dear to us,
Yeah.
so our heart will always be there because that's where God brought us together.
Yeah, yeah. How long was by the way, how long was your school administered there at Oakwood? How long did you study there?
Actually, I transferred there from Georgia State University.
I see.
So I was there just for several years before going on to Andrews University to get my master's of divinity training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ronald, what advice would you give to young people who may be considering going into the military or thinking about a military career? What advice would you give them?
My advice is to just consider serving God and serving your country, because not only does the military provide educational benefits, but it provides opportunities for you to learn about the country and the world and other peoples, and to serve at the highest level of protecting the freedom that we enjoy here in the United States.
Good outlook, yeah.
Yes.
What did being inducted into the Military Hall of Heroes, what did that mean to you?
To me, that's still, as I say, humbling, because it's been a number of years and I've avoided this. I remember when I first received notice, I was in Atlanta, and they called me and said, "Mr. Wright, we have a very high honor that we want to award you. In fact, we want to have a parade on Fort McPherson Army base to honor you." And I felt so undeserving at that time. I just said, "I don't really deserve that. You can just mail it to me." And that's what they did.
Yeah.
So I got it in the mail.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's only recently that, as I say, I acquiesced. Okay, let me go public. Let me come out of the closet and just honor God.
Yeah, yeah.
So I still feel humbled by the prospect and don't consider myself yet a hero. Yeah. But it gives me a chance to give honor to God, who is the hero, Jesus Christ.
He's the one who pulled you through it.
Yes, he is, and keeps it going.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Ron, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. I really enjoyed it. I want to thank you for participating in our oral history series and allowing us to preserve your military experience for the people of this community. And thank you, sir, for your service to our country.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having me here with you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Honored
that
to
very
be
much.
in your presence.
Yeah. Now, if you'd like more information regarding this interview or any interview in our Military Heritage series, you can contact the Madison County Military Heritage Commission website at mcmhc.us. I'm Tom Kennemer. Thank you very much for being with us.